If all I had was $100 and a chance to rebuild my financial life from zero, here's exactly how I'd use it so that a year from now, my situation looks completely different. I've spent years learning, testing, and fixing my own money habits, and I'm gonna boil all of that down into a clear plan you can learn from. If you watch until the end, you'll have a simple, realistic roadmap you can adapt to your own life, even if you feel like you're starting from zero. Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. The first thing I'd do with that $100 is nothing. I'd pause and get brutally honest about where I'm starting from. When you're scared and broke, your brain wants a quick fix. It wants you to throw the $100 at some miracle investment or random side hustle and hope something works. I would not do that. I'd sit down with a notebook or a notes app and write out my real numbers. How much I owe, how much I expect to make this month, and what I need to pay just to keep the lights on. I'd list rent, basic food, transport to work or interviews, and any minimum payments on painful, high-interest debt. Seeing those numbers might hurt, but it turns one giant, scary cloud into a clear picture. You can't fix what you won't look at, and if I skip this step, every dollar I spend is just guessing. Once I know my starting point, my second move is protecting myself from immediate disaster. If I literally can't eat or keep a roof over my head in the next few days, then that $100 is survival money first. In that extreme case, I'd use it for the cheapest possible food and essential transport and focus all my energy on getting income coming in. But in most situations, I'd try to carve out about $40 from that $100 as a tiny emergency buffer. That money is not for impulse spending. It's for the little crises that used to send me straight into more debt. A bus pass, a small bill I forgot, a cheap repair. It won't solve everything, but it gives me just enough breathing room that one small surprise doesn't completely blow up my month. That mental space is more powerful than it sounds, because when you feel like you're one accident away from disaster, it's almost impossible to think long term. With the remaining $60, my third move would be to build a simple system for my cash flow. Cash flow is just money coming in and money going out, and most people have no idea where theirs actually goes. I choose a very simple way to track it. A free spreadsheet, a notebook, or an inexpensive budgeting app if I feel it's worth a few dollars. I'd write down my income and decide in advance how each dollar will be used. Even if the numbers are tiny, I'd give every dollar a job. This much for rent, this much for food, this much for transport, this much for debt, and a tiny amount for fun so I don't explode and quit. Then, each time money comes in, I'd move it according to that plan. The point is not perfection. The point is awareness. Once I can see my leaks, I can start plugging them, and that's how I free up more than $100 over the next few months without feeling like I'm punishing myself. Now comes the part that makes the biggest difference. I'd use most of what's left to increase my earning power instead of chasing quick investment wins. When you're starting over with almost nothing, your income is your engine. A one-time choice that boosts my income by even a couple $100s a month will do more for me than putting that same $60 into an investment account right away. So I'd ask, how can I use this money to make myself more valuable? That might look like a short, very practical online course that teaches a skill I can start charging for quickly. Basic spreadsheets, entry-level coding, customer support skills, beginner design, simple video editing, or writing. Or it might be transportation to a job fair, printing a better resume, or paying for a month of internet so I can apply for remote work. I'd avoid anything that sounds like a magic scheme. I'd look for skills and opportunities that already pay real people real money, then use this $60 to get my foot in that door. As that extra income starts to appear, even if it's small at first, my fifth move would be to attack high-interest debt before trying to invest heavily. High-interest debt, like many credit cards or certain personal loans, charges such a high yearly rate that it functions like a negative investment. If I'm paying something like 20% interest, then every dollar I keep on that balance is working against me. So I'd use my new budget system to free up a specific amount each month for debt payments beyond the minimums. I'd pick one debt to focus on, maybe the smallest balance for quick motivation or the highest interest rate for maximum math benefit, and slowly knock it down. Each time I pay off a debt, I'd roll that payment into the next one. Every debt I remove is like giving myself a small raise because less of my future money is being eaten by interest. Only after those foundations are in place, basic needs covered, a tiny emergency buffer, a growing income, and high-interest debt under control, would I move into long-term investing. At that point, even if I can only spare $10 or $20 a month, I'd start putting it into simple, diversified investments intended to grow over many years. I wouldn't try to pick individual winning companies or time the market. Instead, I'd think in terms of broad baskets that spread risk across many businesses or bonds, and I'd expect normal ups and downs along the way. I'd treat these contributions like planting seeds, not exciting, not dramatic, but powerful when done consistently for a long time. If my bank or investment platform lets me automate those small contributions, I'd set that up so the decision is made once and then happens in the background. Running alongside everything, I'd keep working on my mindset and environment. Starting over with $100 isn't just about numbers, it's about identity. If deep down I still believe I'm bad with money or destined to struggle, I'll find ways to sabotage progress. So I'd spend free time with free or cheap resources that reshape how I think. Library books, podcasts, and channels that focus on realistic, long-term wealth building instead of hype. I try to surround myself, even online, with people who are trying to pay off debt, save, and invest slowly and sanely, not just showing off their latest purchase. The more I see myself as someone who can handle money, the more natural good decisions feel. By this point, that original $100 looks different. It's not about the exact dollars anymore. It's about what that small amount forced me to build. A clear picture of my situation, a tiny buffer, better habits, better skills, less toxic debt, and the beginnings of an investing routine. The real power is not that the $100 turned into some huge number overnight, but that it kickstarted a path where every new dollar that flows through my life is treated with more respect. Most of us were never taught how money actually works. What matters now is how you use the next bit of money and the next few months. If this video helped you, like and subscribe for more.